Hi everyone, thank you for watching the support video. I'm just going to bring us through everything that I learned last night in class, and then hopefully this will help you as you prepare for your next phase of actually the last phase of our assessment reports. So I'm going to take my video off as usual, and I'm going to go down to last night's class. And as you can see, I've got the PowerPoint there and the Autism Social Skills Profile. Our big questions are the difference between the IFSP and the IEP. One, of course, would be age. The other is how the assessments are done, who's involved during the assessments, planning, and implementation. And please speak to the parent participation and the different types of assessments that are done. And then I want you to come up with one of the phonemic awareness games, and I want you to have at least 4 words that you manipulate. So you just one technique, and then just list those 4 words that you can kind of play with. And then how you could use the Autism Social Skills Profile to support, to develop supports for students with ASD. And I want you to kind of write out like, okay, this is where I start with using the assessment. You know, maybe I give it to few different people, and then how do you understand it? How do you read that assessment? You know, as you can see, they have the never, almost, sometimes, occasionally, often or typically, very often or always. And so which scores would you be looking at as you were understanding that? And then also, how could you use the brief description on this tool? Then what would you do? How would you plan out like next steps for writing goals based on this and classroom observations and whatnot? And then also, how would you monitor progress using a tool like this? The assessment report section that we're doing now is progress monitoring, collaboration, and reflection. And one of the things that I realized as you were going through is that a lot of you had done the assessment report without enough detail. You didn't bring the quantitative and the qualitative detail in there. So I'm just going to bring this one. Well, we've already looked at Adrian's, so we're not going to look at that one, but we can look at this one over here. And remember, these aren't perfect. These are just examples. So here we go. We've got the student background. You can see the results. She lists out the assessments and then puts the results in the table, the work samples, reasoning and directions. I could see why. The qualitative observations, so what happened during the testing. The strengths, and this is just a small paragraph, but highlighting hopefully at least 3 strengths, and then the areas of growth. And this one is pretty short, but part of the reason was actually the student. So, but you need to give evidence from the Woodcock-Johnson and your criterion reference test and work samples for each one of the things that you identified. In this one, it doesn't look like she gave any examples of how to do this. So let me see if I can pull up another one that might have better examples. I do have a lot of these, and I just kind of randomly picked this one, but we can look through here. Okay, so here we go. So areas of growth, she's got 3 areas of growth. We know that, for example, for the writing fluency, he would write the boy is happy instead of writing the boy is happy. And so we're able to understand that that's something, one of the goals. Then for the goal, remember the goals need to be grade goals. So the way that you do this, and I think I've gone over this before, but if not, then I'll do it again this time. But you go Common Core Standards, which is CCSS, and then you can say 6th grade if it's 6th grade. And that'll bring you to the Common Core Standards for 6th grade. And you can see, here we go, we've got all the standards right here for English Language Arts. This is where the 6th grade standards start. And you can come through and choose one of these. But if your student, not the ability level that they're working at, but the actual grade level that they're in, that's where you need to pull their goal from. So determine the meaning of words and phrases as they're used in text, including figurative and connotative meanings, analyze and impact the specific word choice. And you can even write down which goal it is, and that's the CCSSELA literacy.RL.6.4. So you're going to go through, let me just pull this back up again. You're going to go through and you're going to write out the goal based on your area of growth. The progress monitoring is then dependent on whatever your goal is. So if your goal is around writing, then you're probably going to have one type of progress monitoring, so a curriculum-based measure, for example. And then where are you going to house that? What information is going to be on there? Who are you going to share it with? How often is it going to be done? So this will be recorded every time this activity is done, at least once a week. So you can see that she went through and identified exactly how she would be monitoring the progress. And then for the collaboration, same thing. She went through and talked about how she would be communicating with the home, with the occupational therapist, and the speech therapist, and administration and staff. And so it's very evident exactly how she's doing it. And then, of course, she's got her reflection, which that will all be individualized. So this week, we're really focusing on the progress monitoring, and then for the collaboration and the reflection. But if you need to clean up last week's report, then that's okay to use that time. Please read chapter 12. We're just finishing up the Overton book, so that's pretty exciting. And then, of course, critical reflection number 9. If you have any questions, please reach out and I can make sure that you're on the right track. It is going to take me some time to go through and grade your critical reflection number 8s and look at your data stuff. But if you do decide to make any changes, feel free to just re-upload. So when you can, I have actually set it so that you can turn in the critical reflections unlimited time. So you can just go in there, write a submission. And what it says to me, let me see if we've got any examples, is it will say, see, attempt 2 out of 2. So there's 2 attempts, and this is her second time trying to upload that one. So when I go and look at Anna's first attempt, which it looks like, well, I'm not going to look for it right now, but anyway, then I'll know that I can actually not grade that one and then just go to her second attempt, if that makes sense. So, and I will count you as turning it in on time as long as you had your first attempt turned in on time. And then you're not going to get a late turn in if you do some rewriting. Okay? Hopefully that's helpful. Please let me